So now I'm going to show you how to do the parallax effect. First thing you need to do is to bring an image into Photoshop that you want to do the parallax effect. Now the parallax effect is when you have one object in your image moving differently than the other objects or the background of your image. The parallax effect is like when you look out of your car and objects that are further away from you appear to be moving more slowly than objects that are closer to you. Okay, so it's a kind of an illusion that things are moving at different speeds relative to the observer. So in this instance, I'm going to take the guy who's making the catch and I'm going to move him separately from the rest. So I need to cut him out. Okay, so I've already selected most of him. I just want to demonstrate how you're going to select parts of your image. I recommend using the lasso tool, in particular the polygonal lasso tool. Okay, and there's two different parts of this tool that are helpful. The add to selection, which is this button up here, allows us to add. So part of his towel here I need to add, so I'm going to just draw around his towel. Okay, it's drawing little straight line segments. If I want greater accuracy, I can zoom in on this. Okay, and you just want to overlap the portions that you want to join. Now, sometimes you also have too much selected, like over here, I have some of the background, and I need to subtract that. So, same tool, but this time I'm going to go up here and click on Subtract from Selection, and then I can make a selection, and you can see it subtracted that. Okay, so now I have my football player here. He's all selected. Actually, there's a little part of this section up here that I need to subtract from. So I'm just going to go back to my tool here. I'm just going to put a couple little holes here around his mouth guard holder. Okay, that should do it. Okay, so now what I need to do is duplicate the background layer. So I'm just going to Control-click, duplicate the background. Okay, and I want to delete everything around the football player. Okay, so I'm just going to go to Select Inverse, which selects everything around him, and I'll click on Delete. And now you can see if I hide the background layer, he's all by himself. Now what I want to do is delete the football player in the background. So again, I go back to Select Inverse. So I've gone back to having the football player selected. And I'm going to click on my Delete key, but notice this time I have this fill window that pops up. Because it's the background layer, I can fill in the background rather than simply deleting it. So this content aware, it analyzes what's around the selected area and it'll fill it in with something similar. So I'll just click on OK and show you what that means. I'll hide the top layer. You can see Photoshop has filled in those sections. So that's really useful. It's kind of like it's used the clone stamp tool and it's done all that work for me. Okay, so this is now an image that I can bring into Premiere Pro and I'll be able to animate it. Okay, so I need to save it as two parts. Okay, so I'll just hide the background and I'll save this as a PNG. Now PNGs have transparent layers, so I can put this over top of another image. Okay, so I'll call this football catch top because it's the top layer, and I'll just put that into my folder. So I'll go into my pan and scan folder, save that, and then I'll go and make my background layer visible and I'll save that, and I'll call this one bottom, and make sure that's going into the same spot, and make sure I'm saving it as a PNG, and I'll save that. Okay, so next step is to go into Premiere Pro.